Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Mind Body Stuff. I'm Kaylee.
I'm Bernice, and it's another podcast episode.
Oh my gosh.
I listen to, do you guys ever listen to, you probably don't, the MMA or the fights, the mixed martial arts fights, or...
You do?
Sometimes I do.
You listen to them?
I mean, I watch them. I got my sensory overload.
Uh-oh, why?
I ate a sugared bar before I came in because I felt like my blood sugar was dropping.
Why would... Okay.
But now I'm all like, yeah!
Do you need a cheese stick?
Party!
Do you need a cheese stick?
No, that might give me diarrhea.
Gross.
Anyway, so I listened to the MMA things or whatever, the fights, and there's a guy that comes out and he's like, welcome to MMA! So that's why I started today, because I love listening to those intros. You just get so pumped up.
I feel like in another lifetime, you definitely, you should have been a radio personality.
I wanted to do radio, and I did something at the Montana Public Radio Station here 20 years ago.
Oh, you're bigger than that, baby.
When I was young. And of course, the first thing I do is I'm reading some Christmas poem, and it's I'm kind of doing it in a British accent, welcome to the holidays here in beautiful Missoula, Montana. And the producer guy's like, you're going to have to talk louder and in a regular accent.
Oh, that's awesome. As I point to the cameras, I'm like, you can't talk that quiet. Got it. I get what you're doing. So
anyway, we are excited that you guys are listening today. My husband and I just listened to the Husbands Part 2 podcast.
Part 2?
Part 2. At first I'm like, you have stumbled. The word is podcast.
Podcast?
Pod.
What did you guys think?
Oh,
we haven't heard any comments from you guys. What's up with that?
I know we want comments. I'm like, where are you?
I feel like we're going to quit doing this if people don't talk to us.
I know, and it's weird because
we get bored just talking to
people
ourselves.
Will stop us, out in person. I've had a number of people stop me in Minneapolis and in Maine and here in Missoula, and they're like, we love your podcast, and I love the part you talked about when your butterfly lost its wings, and I'm like, well, that's so nice, but you better comment.
Well, because I'm spilling my guts here, people.
On social media.
Nobody'd write back to be like, I feel that way too about my life sometimes. Then it feels very vulnerable sometimes to be like, oh, it's okay. I'll just keep telling all the ways that I F up in my life to you guys and never have anyone comment back.
We want written comments is what I'm saying.
I want we're needy, a written you guys. Comment. We're needy.
Yeah, I'm unlovable, and you think I'm insignificant.
So just come on, just give us some comments.
Give us some love.
It fuels it.
Fuels our fire. And also, we love when you guys have ideas.
Or yes, because I don't think we just do this to process our own shit. I guess kind of.
I don't even have that much shit to process.
To start conversations,
Yeah.
Yeah, you have nothing. Oh, the diamond thing. I listened back this morning too, and I'm like, and then I could hear me getting uncomfortable. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry that I brought this up.
Oh yeah, you were in a high pitched voice.
I know, I kind of was getting nervous.
And then how about the part when I say something and both you and you're like, you don't want to talk. She doesn't want to talk about it anymore. And he's like, yeah, she doesn't. And then he's like, she's gonna cry. And
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, this whole thing's coming down if we don't fix this fast. I had a moment like, oh.
It's live radio where she starts to cry and you can't even tell. Tears coming down.
Oh, that's funny. He did a really good job. Rob was a run-on. He has run-on sentences. Do you guys notice that?
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I have to listen to him. See, here's the thing. I know I've talked to you guys about this before. Do you see how slow and deliberate and articulate he is? It's
yes.
He's my brain moves so fast that I can't follow it. But when I put the podcast on speed 1.5, even sometimes 2, twice the speed when he's talking, then I'm like, that's the pace at which I can understand you.
Yeah, there you go.
You go.
Your thoughts are coming out quick enough for me.
I know, it's so bad.
Both of them are kind of slow
talkers.
They're
so nice, though. Both of those men are so nice.
And they're very thoughtful.
They're very thoughtful
and reflective.
Men. I appreciate them.
Yeah, because they need to be. They're slightly traumatized.
They've been trained there too. I always say, I don't think it's a bad thing to want to help your partner, I don't know, in their own evolution and making sure that the partnership works for each other.
Oh yeah. Like I talked about on the podcast last week about how Mike taught me to fill my time with not just him.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Thank you for that. Like,
Totally.
Can you imagine if I didn't learn that and then I'd get a divorce and I'd marry, someone else? Oh, wow. Hello. Welcome.
What was that?
I have no idea. My cousin's in the room.
I guess so.
No talking now.
Wow.
If you married someone like Bob and he's like, the same thing happens because that's what happens. Just people, I don't even remember what I was talking about. It was super funny.
No, that if Mike hadn't have taught you to, to feel a sense of independence and a sense of self-worth that's not dependent on him.
Oh, yeah. Then I would have probably remarried another person.
Just like that.
Yeah, exactly.
What is that? What's
that
boom? It's those speakers you guys set up.
I didn't set them up. Okay, she's going to turn that off. Because we're getting ready, guys, for Oolacation.
So should we actually bring up what we're going to talk about today?
Yes, let's bring up. So Kaylee and I were talking yesterday about the importance of making space. And I looked up today, and I was doing some research, and when you look up making space, she just turned on her, what's it called?
My breast pump.
Her breast pump.
That's too loud. That's not going to work. I'll turn it up.
Right loud. She's sort of a talking breast pump.
Okay. I'm done.
But the importance of making space. Now, when you look that up, it says stuff like making space for white noise or relaxation, or it's all about making space in your life for you. But what we want to talk about today is making space so things can enter your life that maybe you don't realize you're lacking.
Sure.
Because in my life, I get very fixated on how everything is going just the same. It's the same. And I'm not really willing sometimes to look at, now let's say if I move this person or thing out of my life, because maybe that's not working for me, what would come in instead? Because I'm like, no, well, it's okay. I mean, that's okay. I'm fine with that. I'm not quite happy, but I'll make it work. But what we've found recently is when we have made space, great things have moved into the space. But if we hadn't have made the space, I don't think those people or those things would have moved into it.
Right. Yeah.
So I find that fascinating. Don't you agree?
Well, yeah, I totally agree. So when we pick what we're going to talk about for the podcast, if it falls right around when I'm teaching an ULA 1 class, which in this case it did, I oftentimes I'm really, really able to process a lot during ULA 1. There's something about that format that just really kind of drops me into my stuff. And so I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about the seasons. I'm thinking about spring. I'm thinking about death and rebirth. And I think that, we've talked about this before on this podcast, but my name, Kali, which is pronounced Kaylee. Sometimes people still call me Callie. I'm like, come on.
A lot of people do.
Stop calling me Callie. It's Kaylee.
We had it happen recently where
it happened in the studio the other day. I'm like, you should know my name.
Callie?
You should know. They call me
Callie. Oh, Callie. Hey, Callie.
Anyway,
you were good at correcting that, but
I didn't.
Well, I was at another function with you.
Oh, and I said,
and the person said it a number of times, maybe over a period of days, and finally you said, "It's Kaylee."
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I appreciate it.
We just open every podcast with, "I'm Kaylee." I'm Bernice.
Not Callie.
Okay, anyways, back to the point. So because my name, Kali, is the same spelling as the Hindu goddess Kali, Kali is the goddess of death and destruction. But with death and destruction also comes rebirth. And what I think is particularly scary to people is the death part.
Oh, that is good.
And there is a death that comes basically when you say, this isn't working for me. When you say, it's time that I actually make a change in my life, when you need to end careers, when you need to end relationships, when you need to actually find the courage to create that space. Because I think it feels easier sometimes to just continue a status quo and to not try to disrupt things. I think that I don't want to disrupt things. I'm scared. The unknown is scary. But it's that death piece, allowing something to actually die, creates just this incredible opportunity for new life and growth, very much like seasons. And so I think this podcast is really relevant in just the way that I'm feeling too. I mean, new life is sprouting up from the dark depths of death. I mean, go out into your yard and see the tiny little what's that? Sprouts?
Saplings.
Well, I was thinking like
sapling.
we have little crocuses coming up right now.
Yeah, and they have their little
shooting up from the dead, and it's like every year they come back, and spring is such a reminder to not fear the death, that the rebirth is always so beautiful.
Yes, and the death makes room for the rebirth.
Exactly.
Because if all that stuff didn't die, then those new crocuses wouldn't come up.
And we want to live in an eternal spring. Obviously, there's that phrase, eternal spring. I mean, that would be like,
yeah.
But it's impossible. It doesn't work that way. Spring doesn't feel the way that it feels if it isn't preceded by death, by winter. Things need to die to make space. But I feel like it's the fear of that.
Yeah.
People are very afraid. Like I know in the different types in my times in my life where it's been like, okay, this isn't working. I have to make a change. It's that breaking piece. It's that breaking, that death, that saying, having the courage to say, this isn't working anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also thinking, tying it back to Ulawan. You guys, if you don't go to Ulawan, you need to go to Ulawan. I swear I have the most crazy revelations while I'm doing that class. There are a couple songs in this newest release that move really slow, and you can feel the desire to fidget. You can feel this urge to move faster, but it's like, I think humans innately want to fill space. We're very uncomfortable with this emptiness. Like we're constantly like, that's why we have overeating, over drinking, overfilling our house. We are very uncomfortable.
Overconsumption.
Yeah, it's like we crave this opening, but the emptiness is very scary for people. They have this desire to fill it. And so I think it's also like interesting to think about like, okay, so let's say I do create this break, right? This death happens or this relationship ends. It's like that time between like that dormancy, that deadness,
the transition.
The transition is so scary for people. We want to fill it. That's why people jump from one relationship to another. That's why people, the same thing that you're saying about if Mike hadn't have trained you.
I'm sure I would go right into another one, searching for that, because I wouldn't want to have that emptiness or that aloneness. Mm-hmm. And of course, it's a wonderful attribute that humans have. I think that's what makes us so successful, is we're just like, go, 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 go. Like, what will we do now? How should we fill it? Should we do this now? Should we do that now? We're like ants or something in that regard. But it does become problematic when we don't want to deal with the pain of the transition, which I don't want to do most of the time. I hate endings. Mm-hmm. It's like I go on vacation and I'm like, oh no, it's ending. It's a vacation. Mm-hmm. Give me a break. Of course it's going to end. But you get obsessed with how one thing is, and it's hard for me to move into the next thing because there is a transition period, no matter how short or how long it is. So, but what we found, or what I found is, once you open that door to the end, and then it's almost like winter's there, and then you open the door, and a time passes, and then it's spring. But you have to be willing to let stuff die, and then be willing to open the door. Don't be afraid to open the door. Mm-hmm. I was just thinking about the article I just shared recently on Facebook about this woman whose 4 kids had just grown up. So she was a single parent and she has 4 boys, and her 4th boy has just left the house. And I'm like, I don't want to read this article. It's going to be so sad. It's about an ending. And it was sad. She kind of titled it in a sad way, but it was about the uncoiling of her life. And now as she enters this next chapter, she's dealing with the transition of the ending of being a mother for 16 or 20 years or whatever. And then she's going to take her...
She has 4 boys.
I know. She said 16 on the thing. That can't be right. That must be the last boy. I don't know why she wrote that. It's wrong.
You've been a mother for longer than 16 years.
I was like, how could that be?
Just so you know, lady.
If you had, anyway, she had kids at 21, 23, 25, and 28.
That is young.
Yeah, she had them young.
Whoa.
But she's doing this wonderful thing where she's going to go to travel, and each month she's going to a different country to recognize each of her sons, each of her children. And then the final month, her 4 sons are going to visit her.
Oh, I love that.
In another country.
It's like Eat, Pray, Love.
Yeah, and she's going to recognize the ending.
Mm-hmm.
And this traveling is kind of the beginning of the opening of the door of how she's going to redefine herself in this next chapter of her life.
That's cool.
But what a wonderful ritual to do, too, so that she can do this ending to open the door to a new beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I that just kind of makes me think about ritualizing even like the goodbyes, the death, the transition. Idea. You know, like for me, I always say there's no way I could live in the Southern Hemisphere because the only thing that makes me not depressed about moving into winter is that Christmas is coming.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but I guess maybe for me that is my ritual, I guess, to celebrate winter, to celebrate
with
like
Christmas. Yes.
That there's like something like very special for me. So I mean, if I didn't have a really important holiday moving into winter, I think it'd be a lot. I think it'd be really hard for me actually. But I think it's important, you know, to look at our lives and to feel like where we're feeling maybe unsatisfied or maybe where things in the past have been working, but currently they're not working anymore. And just, you know, starting to look at like, is it time for me to close the chapter, to close the door on this chapter? Is it time for me to, you know, we always do this fist analogy, but if you have this tight fist, you're clinging onto things, or you're clinging onto the memory of the way things were, or you're clinging on to, you know, how you want things so desperately to be. But if things just aren't working, you know, opening up your fist feels so scary because then you lose it and it's gone. And that's really scary and it's painful and it usually hurts. But when you open up your fist, then you've opened up your fist, and there is this sense of openness, and there is this sense of wonder and of surprise and of new beginnings. And, you know, it's like, I don't know, I think it's a good, maybe prompt for us to all take a look at our lives and figure out like, where are things maybe just not working anymore? Where do we want to have a goodbye so that we can make way for a new hello?
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
And sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, and can you turn the goodbye into... Okay. Can you turn the goodbye into like a ceremony? Like for me, I think it's really special when couples decide to get a divorce, but they have like a party. You know, when they're divorcing, they have like a divorce party and they invite all their friends and loved ones and they celebrate the end of this chapter, but they know that ultimately they want to move into a new space, into a new place, but you have to be okay with that goodbye, that ending. So yeah, I don't know. I just think it's really, it's interesting.
Yeah. I was thinking of another example of the making of the room, making room for a new beginning. And my husband at his job, a number of times in his job, he's had a few employees that he's sort of clung on to because he feels very attached with the work that they do for him. But over a period of time, it's almost like both parties get stagnant. His relationship with them gets stagnant. Yeah. The work that they're doing gets stagnant. I don't think they're happy doing the work that they're doing. But it's hard for him to let them go. Sure. For both parties to let go, actually.
Sure. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's scary. It's that goodbye is scary.
Goodbye is so scary. And Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen when you do it.
Well, and it's like, will I find a better employee? Like, if I let her go, are we effed? Or will I find somebody who is actually maybe a better fit for this role now?
Right, and I just talked to him the other day about that. Like, it might be time to let somebody go so that there's room for someone, a new person, to come into that spot. Mm-hmm. But if you don't let that person go, I don't think the other person's going to show up.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying?
Because there's no space for them.
Yeah, but it's almost like a psychic space.
Yeah,
because you think like,
sure,
absolutely. Well, of course, Jane would come in too, or John would want to work here too. But I'm like, I don't think so, because it's filled up with this other energy, mm-hmm. and you've got to let that go so that their energy can come in. Mm-hmm. But I had never thought of it that way.
Oh, really?
Psychically before, because I'm just like, well, good people show up, and then you'll find them and use them. But through our work, it's just hit me that, I don't think so. Not all the time does that happen.
No. Well, they always, that like, I think that's, just like, there's an energy, like, I don't know. I feel like there is a psychic energy of being open or being close. Maybe this is totally off topic. I'm not sure, but I don't wear a wedding ring. And someone recently that I know got a divorce, and so she doesn't wear a wedding ring anymore. And she's like, "Oh my gosh! Like, I get so much like attention not wearing a wedding ring." And I'm like, I don't get any attention, but my energy is not psychic. I don't have any psychic energy going out there that I am open.
Right? Yeah. Good point. You don't need the symbol. I don't need a ring. I
just need, like, energetically. I don't think that there is. Nobody feels like I'm energetically open.
That's a very good point.
There's no walls. I have no wedding ring. There's not, like, a wedding ring can be a barrier to show like I am not open to your attention.
Barrier.
It's a symbolic barrier, but bigger than that, there's an energetic barrier that is just always up in place in front of me. I have very strong boundaries energetically because I am not open to that.
Right. And I
don't need a ring.
Yeah, you don't need a ring because it's already blocked off.
Unlike you, my friend.
I need like 8 rings. But mine isn't about psychic blocking.
No, it's not. It's about shiny objects.
It's about filling the hole in my heart.
I know. I listened to that and I'm like, what do you mean a void in your heart?
I thought that was very
poetic. Not a void in your heart. You're like, yes, it is a void. I'm like, no, it's not. You like shiny things. You're like,
because I'm a raven.
Because you're a raven.
In real life, I'm a raven. Sometimes I change into them late at night.
Oh. How exciting.
Creepy.
That is creepy.
But no, I even with friends of mine who are getting divorced now, mm-hmm. And it's so hard for me to watch people get divorced. If you didn't see it as a painful relationship for the two people, mm-hmm. As an outsider, it's like, well, couldn't you make it work? It didn't seem like you were fighting that much. Or
you're really uncomfortable with divorce.
I am. It makes me so sad.
But for most of them, it doesn't make them sad.
It does not make them sad. No. In fact, one of my friends is ebullient. She's totally happy.
Yeah.
Maybe it's ebullient.
I'm like, I don't know what that is. I'm thinking it's good.
Ebullient.
You're very smart. I'm sure you're right. Don't let my blank stare deter you. I'm like, what does that mean?
I lost her on that word.
No, I'm like, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, she's like super excited and energetic. And I was like, don't you need to process the sadness behind all this? You know, these 17 years of your life? And she was like, not really. I mean, we have. Yeah. Obviously, we have. And they're in a amicable divorce.
It's called amicable.
Is it amicable?
Amicable.
It's what I say, amicable.
Amicable. Amicable.
They're in amicable divorce with Mickey Mouse, so they're fine with that.
But I feel like if the earth goes through cycles and sheds itself and regrows and all of this, like, humans are allowed to too. Who says that you have to, be the same person for your whole life?
Yeah, and you're not. So if that doesn't work within your partnership anymore, then you should be able to open that door to the next part of who you are meant to be and your evolution and your growth. And sometimes it doesn't work in partnership with that same person anymore. Right. After so many, just people change over time.
people change.
Yeah. And you have to, and again, it's the endings and the beginnings, and then opening the door, being willing to deal with the ending part, no matter how that is. Some people, like my friend who's ebullient,
excited.
She's excited about a new chapter in her life. She's been down and depressed and for maybe, quite a few years now. So it must be like, she's just probably waiting to open that door. And when she finally did, it was like, I can breathe again, and then make room for the new, whatever the new may hold for her.
I think that is one scenario. Absolutely. Another scenario is when it is not by choice, and B just made a really sad face, but part of that too is it's that death piece of, the fear of what's on the other side of it.
Good point.
Because not all relationships end amicably and amicably, or there's a lot of sadness by the end of the relationship, even though it's meant to end.
Yeah, good point.
And there usually is a gaping hole when somebody you love leaves your life. And, I felt that for sure. I felt that recently. And there's that emptiness. And, there's usually this I think it's totally human nature to want to then immediately fill the space. But I think it's just when you were talking about that square breathing with Ray, you hate to pause at the end of the exhalation. You want to go right back into that inhale.
I do.
Because it's like you inhale and you pause and then you exhale. And so many people want to skip that part of it and go right back into the inhale. But if you pause at that exhale, you have to deal with this emptiness. You're out of air. You're out of air. There's that death, that pause, that emptiness that we so want to fill. But it's like, can we sit with our emptiness? Can we sit with our emptiness without feeling the need to immediately fill it again? It's like when we do Shavasana and I see people moving around all the time and wiggling and changing positions. It's like, can you just let it be empty? Like, don't try to fill the space. Don't try to fill the silence. Don't try to take up, just be in the emptiness of the stillness. And it's really hard for people. A lot of people are uncomfortable with that. And I mean, I'm not saying I haven't mastered by any means. It's just something that I think about.
That's a great practice too.
It's a great practice.
I used to see my dad meditating every morning at 6 a.m. I'd go downstairs and be getting ready for school, and there he'd be sitting on the sofa in the dark. And he would just be totally quiet. And he'd do it for an hour. But he needed it in his life because, he just needed to have everything. He needed to be empty for a little while, or at least work. He said it's a challenge to be empty.
Well, and that's the exact language I used in class this morning. There's a song in the Ula in Ula 1. Which one is it? It's I'll come up with the name in a second. But it moves it's called When the Party's Over, which is such a perfect title for actually how this song feels. The party's over.
Well, it's Billie Eilish.
The song moves so incredibly slow, and all of the movements are slow. And that's exactly what I said. I said, be disciplined in not trying to fill up this space.
Yes.
Just move absolutely as slow as the music is telling us to move. And it feels super uncomfortable, but I use the word disciplined. You've got to be disciplined to not try to rush this.
Yes.
To not try to dance it. I said, there's something about Ula 1 where you don't get it. Like with Ula is obviously, we know this to be true. It's incredibly therapeutic, but there's something about Ula 1 that you don't get to fill the emptiness as easily as you can with Ula. With Ula, you can, whoa, and you can turn the music up loud and you can exert and you can have all this force behind it. But there's something about Ula 1 where you have to sit with your own emptiness, and it can be uncomfortable at times.
And Ula 1 is so much more internalized. It's so much more, Ula is so community driven. You're so I depend on everybody in the class. Yesterday I was teaching and I looked at Kaylee and it was like, oh, she's like this. And then I looked at Julie and I'm like, she's like that. Yeah. And you look in the back of the room. But for me, that's still filling it with others in a weird, which is fine because I need that community feeling of security.
And they all have their place.
Yes,
absolutely.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's the beauty of Ula 1 is that in Ula 1 you have the stillness, and also it's you.
It's you.
You.
I think that's the
I can't look
thing.
over at you.
No.
You know, I do sometimes look at people in the mirror for,
hey guys, you having fun? How's this going for you?
How you doing, Shalane? How's your leg?
How's that trauma being released from you?
and then I realized they are in their own worlds right now. This is not the time to be.
But see, you want to fill it.
I want to fill it.
And I
want to be like.
Yeah. But I think that's why we do. I'm going to go back to this. I know I said this about 20 minutes ago, but that's why I feel like we have just a tendency for, alcohol, overeating, even like sexual addiction, overconsumption,
overbuying. I have a client that is constantly shopping all the time, and she knows she goes through periods where she's like, I shouldn't do it, and she ends up hoarding because she ends up with too much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that she knows she's just feeling she had an early childhood trauma, and she's kind of filling that space.
Yeah, well, it's like that the book that we referenced a lot a while ago, The Body is Not an Apology.
The Body's Not an Apology.
And she says, when's the last time that you made a purchase when you felt bad about yourself? And I mean, how often does that happen? You feel bad about yourself, so you want to fix it, so you're going to buy it. Maybe, I need this makeup, or I need this product, or I need, whatever it is, because we don't feel good about ourselves. So what happens when we just sit in our own emptiness, in our own even discomfort, maybe, what if we just sit with it?
And
not try to fix it yet, just sit with it. That right there is an opening.
Right. And
is an opening.
What might appear?
Well, yes, exactly. That's the opening.
Yeah, that's the opening to what might appear.
Absolutely.
Because I think sometimes I just get stuck in like, we're just sitting with this the end. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, it might be the end. That's also something we need to process, the end.
Right.
But I get so fixated on the one thing, then it's the end.
Right.
I'm not seeing beyond that. The end is perhaps an opening.
Right.
It's not just, it gets so melodramatic in that moment. Even losing a friend, or I'm like, well, that's the end. I guess I'll never have that in my life again.
And I think that's where faith comes in.
Yeah.
Faith.
That's a very good point. Yeah. Faith that, okay, so you lost this, but as
your
you're saying,
life is not over.
It's not over. Maybe
this is not the end of you. It's the end of that thing, that time. But it's not the end of you. It's not the end of your happiness. You will have happier days. You will have. You are. I think not only able to, but it is your requirement to continue to grow and to shed layers of your old self so that you can become the person that you are meant to be. I read this quote this morning. I love it. It said, I asked God to help me grow. It started raining.
Oh.
So the rain is going to feel like, it's going to feel like gloomy. It's going to feel like there's this sadness to it, that there's this, this is not what I wanted in order to bloom. But that process is what creates the growth. That process, that the April showers bring May flowers. That process is what allows for our growth and expansiveness. And I love that. I think that quote just kind of got me this morning.
I was thinking on, as I'm talking about various stages of life, to the endings and the beginnings, because I get fixated on one stage. I've always had trouble with transition, because even when I first had kids, I had a really hard time transitioning from this is not my free time. Like, I was super angry about that. Like, where did all my free time go?
Right.
And I didn't think I would survive that. I did not think I would survive that stage of my life. But time goes on. The door is open. You have children. This is what you do. And the light shines. Yeah. And now I'm getting to the stage where my children are full grown. Mm-hmm. So then it's like, oh no, I won't survive that. It's like, well, of course you will. You will. Because again, that's another ending. It's part of life. And there is another stage after that.
I think one of the things that I loved that Mike said we were talking about something, he's like, well, that's why you have girlfriends. And I love that about this podcast. And I guess that's why we're begging you to make this a conversation with us, because I just feel like when we can talk to each other about that, or if you have a friend who's who all of their kids have gone off to college, and you see them living this great life after you can talk to them about their transition, how hard it's been, because we don't always have to go at it alone. It is our own personal journey, but it's so important to be able to talk about this stuff and be like, yeah, it totally sucked. Or I had, a period of 2 years where I couldn't figure out my purpose after my kids moved. And maybe that's the emptiness. And from that emptiness grew this, this amazing thing or whatever.
Thing, right. And for me to have faith, this is the faith part. You remember when you first had kids, you didn't think you would survive that.
Yes.
But I did survive it.
Yes.
I did survive it. I learned and I thrived in it eventually.
Yeah.
So if with faith, if I look back, maybe that's helpful too, looking back at but look at all these other transitions.
Yes.
Finishing high school. I didn't think I'd survive that. Where am I going to go?
Yeah.
I don't have good grades for college. And then going to college, the whole college thing, and then thinking to myself, what's my career? So much angst was in the career. And how will I define myself when people ask me, which they all do, what do you do?
Right.
I remember just being I just would get so tongue-tied.
Yeah.
And then go home what do you do? You know, what is your career?
Yeah.
But I survived that.
Yeah.
And so it's that faith, capital F, that I can look back and see you've had many endings and many beginnings.
Yes.
And the door has been opened and other things have come in. But you cannot hold on. I mean, you can.
You can go for it, but good luck. No.
Sorry, Ray.
Yeah, right.
Here's your underwear and pants for senior year of high school, hon. Now, what shirt would you like today?
I just sent Bernice an article about a 61-year-old woman who was the surrogate for her gay son and his partner's baby. And I was like, look, Bernice, you can do it again.
And last night I dreamed someone found a baby girl.
And I'm like, took it?
I took it.
Oh my gosh, you were so funny.
And then the dream went on, and then she was a little girl. And then Ray was in the picture too. And I woke up, I'm like, oh, yeah, I can go get one.
You could go get one. There you go. But transitions are hard.
I know, but that's just my subconscious
exactly.
processing.
Well, and I think that's good to know that about yourself. For us at our house, I mean, I'm sure this is going to have to change a bit when our kids are older, but Rob has really bad, he hated Sundays growing up because they'd have to wake up early, go to church, come home, and basically do homework. And so he hated Sundays. And Sundays, I think, are such a transitional day. It's Sundays have a heart. But so at our house, we've tried to make Sunday the really fun day.
Sunday fun day.
So if we're going to go skiing on the weekend, we'll go on Sunday. So it feels like
a special
it's still
day.
A special fun day.
It is still the weekend.
It's still the weekend, but I feel like we just cut ourselves short because we're so anticipatory of the week ahead. So Sunday then has this it's the death part. The weekend is over, and even though
it's a full day.
Even it's a full day, we kind of waste it, or lots of people do. And maybe once homework and all that stuff hits, it'll be different. But right now, we're trying really hard to make sure that Sunday is a really fun day at our house.
I think that's I have troubles with Sundays too.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people do. We're just kind of raised that way.
And the other thing is, if you always anticipate endings, which some people don't, which I good for you. I anticipate endings too much. If a trip is coming to the end, we're going to do Ulication, and I'm going to be oh no, we have to do Ulication. Here we go, get packed, all the stress of going. And then I'm going to go there and I'm going to be I don't want to go, leave.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what happens.
Yeah.
And then I'm having a great time, and I'm always counting the nights. I'm 3 more nights.
Yeah.
2 more nights. And I'm last night. And then suddenly I'm it's the last night. But I'm enjoy it. It's the last night.
Yeah.
Don't use it as I got to be a Debbie Downer because I know it's the last night.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting paradigm to deal with.
Yeah. Well, and even Rob said, because I was I'm going to miss you guys so much when we leave. And I always feel so bad about leaving the bigger kids. And he just made such a good point. He's you know what? If this is your last relocation, he's live it up. Don't worry about us. We're going to be fine. And it was just such good permission because I'm kind of I shouldn't be enjoying this. This is bad that I'm gone, and he made it. And then he, in his true fashion, he's take body shots, get, he was live it up. But it was just such a good reminder. Transitions are hard for me too, in that way. But I don't know, like, how can we fix that? I think that's the goal of kind of doing this introspective work, is sometimes be like, okay, this is my shit. Now what can I do to make it, to make it less painful in my life?
Yes, exactly.
So even, I don't know, maybe even just recognizing like, okay, transitions are hard. So here are the little self-help tools.
What are my rituals maybe that I need to go through?
Beautiful. I love that. What rituals can I then incorporate so that they become less painful? So maybe every Sunday night, you need to be like, this is going to be like, friends night at our house where we cook like a big one pot dish and have friends over on Sunday night. So there's something to look forward to. Or like, okay, what are you going to do to make these transitions less painful, coming and leaving Ulication?
Ulication, right. Going to Ulication, like, okay, how can I ritualize the trauma of packing and, making sure I have everything and feeling guilty about leaving the family and all that stuff.
A gin and tonic helps me, at least.
I'll have a White Russian, thank you. That's what my husband's like, how about a White Russian? I'm like, do I look like I'm having a hard time?
I find a drink can help every now and then. But I think this is a good conversation just to think about, okay, where am I feeling that pain, and am I able to sit with some of this pain? Do I have to fill it all? Is there a way to make it less painful? I mean, yes, the pain of losing a relationship or, changing a career, that's painful stuff.
Big stuff.
But packing for vacation doesn't always have to be so painful.
I know.
Going back to this wonderful life that we have doesn't have to be so painful.
Right. Yes.
How can we see it as an opening to the next thing, an opening
chapter,
to
the next life, page, even
the life that's waiting for me?
Yeah, exactly. And what do you guys do? Like, give us ideas. Like, what works for you?
Exactly.
What are you doing? Anything to help with these transitions? Talk to us. We love you and we miss you. And your insight fuels us.
It really does. The conversation is what we're most interested in. Not just sitting around here talking to each other.
I mean, we do this a lot.
We do it a lot. I'm sorry, we had so many distractions in the...
It almost made me get hysterical for a second.
For me, a second too. I almost was like, we got to be done with this podcast. Everything was making noise in the office. The printer, the phone,
laughing,
the speaker,
started laughing.
my computer,
your computer,
everything was making noise.
Whoop.
I know. We're like, okay, this is not going so well.
And then in the background, a little while ago, there was like a voice, like, I don't know.
There was a voice.
And I was like,
Bernice was like looking around frantically.
I'm like, is it the phone? Anyway, if you hear that, we don't know who that is, but thank you for listening and thank you for adding your comments.
Oh my God. So funny. Anyways, make space. It's okay. It's okay to feel the pain. It's okay to mourn the death, the goodbye, the ending. But just realize that there is usually something really beautiful on the other side of that if you open up your world.
Yes, unclench your fist.
Unclench your fist.
Yes, I'm going to work on that.
That's a good one. All right, love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.